you were good, Sam. Again, you know, you talk about stringing together good quarters of footy, but was it just a little bit of a difference in class and experience there, perhaps, at the end?
Yeah, I mean, we knew we'd have to get a lot right today. You know, we had a lot of experience go out of the side since last week, and that's no excuse by any stretch, but we knew we'd have to get a lot right against a really quality side, and they've been playing together for a long period, and, you know, we knew that their system was really strong, and we were going to have to find ways to score and find ways to try to move the ball, and we started quite well. We were able to move the ball. It was an unorthodox way to play. It's not necessarily exactly how we would love to play every week. The first quarter, I think we took 40 marks, but it was something that we thought might work against a really quality Melbourne side with an inexperienced front half. So, you know, I thought it caused them a little bit of trouble, but they were good enough, as good teams are, to shut it down. And then we just didn't have enough strings in the bow to find another avenue to goal. And, you know, at the end of the game, 61 inside 50s to 39 tells you that we did pretty well to hang in there and get within a kick in the last quarter, but they were just a bit too good for us in the end.
And you talk about getting a lot right. How much did it hurt you, the game that Melksham had on your captain, who has been so outstanding for such a big part of this season?
Yeah, we suspected that Melksham would go to Sis, and, you know, he had a lot of shots on goal without hurting us really, because he missed his first four, but then he was able to hit the scoreboard. I still think Sis had a pretty decent influence on the contest. We tried to move him up the ground to try to get him involved in the midfield to see if we could spread the talent across the field a little bit more evenly, and you know, we tried to move Will Day into the front half to see if we could just find a way to score. We knew avenue to goal was going to be a challenge for us today, and we might have to try something a bit unorthodox, and I wouldn't say it was a failure, but it was far from a success as well. So we're going to have to find different ways to score without Chad and Mitch. We knew something different was going to have to happen, and we just didn't have enough go right often enough today. You know, there's little things. You know, a couple of, Morey had his shot that just hit the post, and then he had another shot that just bounced on the wrong side of the goal post, a dribbled shot, and we just needed a few of those things to go right if we were going to be able to win today.
Are you proud of Finn McGuinness today, Sam?
Yeah, I mean, Finn did a great job. I think he kept Oliver to 9 at three-quarter time, and I think he only had 2 clearances for the day. We had to move him off him in the last quarter just to try something new. So I was really proud of Finn. The other one that stood out to me was, Max Gawn is just a ruckman of a generation. I don't think everyone has such admiration for not just his on-field but his off-field, and just what the influence he's had on that club for such a long time. And when I looked at Ned Reeves coming up against him in his 200th game, it was we've played against Max Gawn so many times, and he's just tore us apart. So I was really proud of Reevesy, and how, I don't necessarily think he won the battle, but Gawn didn't have the influence he is capable of, and I thought Ned took a big step in the right direction today as well.
You said you were trying something new with Finn, taking him off Oliver in the last quarter. Were you able to explain sort of what the thinking was, or the plan?
We tried to resource different parts of the ground. You look for an advantage against a side like Melbourne, and it's really, they got Lever and May, so you know that going in long and high. And I think Rivers has been really underrated across the last 2 years in particular. So we knew that there was going to be some challenges, and we tried to find ways to score against it, and we tried lots of different things. And the last quarter, sending Finn to a forward, we thought, maybe that'll give us a bit of a different look and give us a better avenue towards goal, because certainly in the third quarter it just didn't even look like we were going to be able to get it inside 50. And I think, credit to Melbourne, they play a really structured game. They've got fantastic players that execute their roles. And I didn't think they were absolutely prime, playing outstanding footy, but they were just, realistically, they were just a bit too good for us today, and we just weren't quite, not enough things went our way, and it feels like a bit of a missed opportunity. Maybe we could have got them today, but they deserved to win, and they did.
You said Finn didn't want the ball, it wasn't going for the ball. Is there still a role for that shutdown role, do you think? And do you have any response to that, I guess?
He runs off when he sees the chance. Every team in the competition debates whether or not to shut down someone, because it obviously plays against some of your own roles, and we need to continue to harness what that looks like with Finn and his defensive role. And certainly we don't rate his game on his possession count, so his motivation to get the ball. I think as he evolves, he might be able to find a bit more of the footy, but that's not how we rate his game at the moment.
Do you think in future, though, that the role of the tagger, it can't just be, try and get a 0-all type of draw? I know Finn's early in his development.
I think it can. I played on lots of players who played like that. I mean, it's a fantastic sport. You can play negating, lots of fullbacks get 25 or 30 possessions and lots of fullbacks get 3 or 4 possessions. And there's a place in the game for that. There's a place in the game for 210 centimetre ruckman and 170 centimetre ball users. So I think the great thing about our game is you can be any athletic profile, you can be any height, size, shape, and there's a spot for you in an AFL environment. And I think that's one of the great assets of our game over others. And while Finn's shutting down opposition key players, then he's going to be really helpful for us.
Newcombe would have been handy today, Sam. Has he done any damage there, or what's the sort of outlook?
No, I mean, they tell me it's a Domsey hamstring, so he just pulled up sore, and it's one of those ones where you come out of a game tight, which is not unusual, but usually day 3, day 4, sort of comes good. And we got to day 6 and day 7, and it was like, we had to give him every chance. And so he went and did a test this morning and still had some hamstring signs. And my information is he's just still overloaded from last week. So I assume that he'll come up okay in the next day or two. Maybe one extra day might have helped us, but. I think Henry Huswaite comes in and he looks quite comfortable at the level, and he's one of those players that's got that real smooth moving sort of AFL. He looks like an AFL player when he moves, and his composure, and he had a couple of really good moments today, so I was pleased that he got his opportunity and he took it. He's been cramming up. He's been carrying a couple of little things, but Daisy's been in good form. And at the end of the game, he's sort of cramping up, and there's 8 minutes to go, and looked like the game was beyond us. So we just said, just leave him off for the rest. No worries. Thanks, guys.